NFL free agency officially begins. And we're here for all the conversation, not just Eagles related. But this is when Howie starts cooking. It's Howie season. I'm back, baby. We're live, talking all things NFL free agency in 30 seconds.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 woo!
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live. YouTube, Twitter, you know the drill, wherever you are watching. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and share this show out. Shout out to one and all as we continue the race to 500 subscribers. We're inching closer. 452 to start the day. Can we get the 500 subscribers this week? I don't know. Let's find out. And let's find out by talking all things Philadelphia Eagles. Let's talk all things free agency. There is so much happening. I felt that this would be a total show just on what will Howie do today. Last time we went live last week, it's been a few days. It's been almost a week since I've been live. And thank you all for being patient. You know, had a lot going on in the family. Had a lot going on in life last week. So we get back at it. A lot's happened since then. Just with the Eagles alone with Zack Baun. I haven't even been live since the Zack Baun contract was announced. But we are here. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about what the Eagles' next steps are. We're going to talk about the trades in the NFL. We're going to talk about Josh Allen's contract and how it's the biggest albatross of a contract given out in the NFL. We're going to talk about it all. So make sure you get your thoughts and comments and things in. I greatly appreciate it, guys. So like and subscribe and share this out, guys. So let's get started. So rumor has it, they are, the Eagles, looking to trade Goddard for a fourth. You know, I've been talking about Goddard being not on this team for months before anybody else wanted to talk about it. Now you see Zach Ertz got signed to a contract. Mike Gesicki re-signed his contract. What's the tight end market like, Duck? I don't know. While I thought there was a chance they could cut him because that would free up $7 million in cap space, post June 1st, I kind of feel like now the smarter thing is to save a little bit of money and just renegotiate his contract. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes and how that plays out. I think the Dallas Goedert in the tight end market will play out as we get closer to the draft and see what the Eagles do and then go from there. Good for you. Yes. What's up, TMZ? How are you? Pushing future down the line. What? That's right, Stevie Fuentes. Free agency time. Let's go. It's a fun time, especially for Eagles fans, because Howie is always cooking something up. That's right, Anthony. Howie season, let's go. I love it. Good morning, Adam. How are you? Howie season, let's go. Everybody loves Howie season. I love it. Steve, we got to talk pushing the Eagles down the line. What are we talking about? The Eagles don't have financial issues because they're smart with their contracts. Phil, it was really cool that you had Shane Half-Fill in on the Checkdown show. Does that mean he Shane has been on this show probably 20 times over the years. Shane's always welcome on the show. Shane's been on plenty of times, so I love that. Had some things. My wife had to have surgery last week, so I was MIA from content for a few days last week. I didn't even know till last night that Shane filled in on one of them. I guess he filled in on the Zack Baun information for me. So shout out to Shane. Love Shane. Love the Pinpool Podcast crew. Love being part of that crew. Eagles, Saints, Seattle lead the league in 50-plus dead cap. It doesn't matter. We win with dead cap. It's okay. Good morning, M2. How you doing, Nasty? I hope you're well. It's free agency time. Thank you for asking, Anthony. She is doing okay. Still a little sore and beat up, just patiently waiting for the results sometime this week. So, she's got to follow up with the surgeon on Thursday. So, hopefully all went well with the surgery. Hopefully we are in the clear. But we will find out. In the coming days, how everything went. But overall, she's doing well. What's up, Barb? How you doing? I always have a show. Last week I had to miss a few shows. The wife had surgery. So, had to skip a few days. But we don't stop here. We've even done some nighttime shows, Barb. You got to turn those notifications on so you don't miss out. Good morning, Rick. How are you? Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Yes. She's doing better. We'll see. Howie Roseman strategy: build D and draft to build offense and put Bigley. Bigley what? I do talk Phillies. I try to talk Phillies all the time, Barb. Spent a little time the last 2 weeks talking Phillies. And as we get closer and closer to the season starting, I will cover the Phillies more and more. Absolutely. I try to cover the Phillies as much as possible. It's not something that's very popular, but I love my Phillies. I mean, my first tattoo was a Phillies tattoo. So, what is up, little G? Good morning to you. Hope you're well. Allen made a ton more money without even winning the Super Bowl or beating the Chiefs, and they don't want to pay Purdy, who's been to a Super Bowl. The Josh Allen contract, Duck, is insane to me. $330 million, $250 million guaranteed. What was the I don't even have it written down, the per year thing. It's insane. $40 million more per year on top of what he was already making. Josh Allen is a talented quarterback. No doubt about it. But the dude just doesn't have the it factor that Jalen Hurts has. And I know it's going to piss a lot of people off saying this, but you know what? I'm going to say it, and I'm going to stick to my guns. Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. He might not be a better athlete. He might not throw a better spiral. He might not be as physically imposing, but quarterback, leader, winner, the things that matter, Jalen Hurts is better. And Jalen Hurts is making half the amount of money that Josh Allen is. So if Josh Allen's worth $330, then Jalen Hurts is worth $500 million. Plain and simple. Eagles do pay out big on offense. Why wouldn't they? Phillies pitching looks really good. Hitting is basically the same as last year. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expect it to be. They're going to win 92 games, the Phillies. They're going to make the playoffs as a wild card team. The question's going to be, can they hit in the playoffs? Plain and simple. Disappointed to see Goddard on his way out. I don't know if Goddard is definitely on his way out, Rick. Something's going to happen. Whether they renegotiate his deal to stretch out the cap hit a little bit more or to lower his cap hit, or if they trade him. The dude's 30. The dude's hurt all the time. When healthy, he's an elite weapon, but you can't help the club from the top. So I actually now, as I've seen the market play out in the tight end realm, I kind of feel like we'll see Goddard re-sign on some kind of a restructure, like a cheaper, more team-friendly deal to stay here. They will then draft the tight end in the third round, and they'll have their replacement for Goddard. If Calcaterra would have done better filling in, maybe they would have moved on from him, but I don't think he's moved. Calcaterra could be handed the reins. Josh Allen is not the best to ever play. Doing great, thanks. Yep. Want to see us keep sweaty. Man, with that Myles Garrett and Max Crosby deal, Josh Sweat is about to get paid. Josh Sweat's going to get $18 million a year, at least in my opinion. I don't know if the Eagles can pay Josh Sweat. I think Josh Sweat is last on the list of priorities. It's Becton 1, which I don't know if you're going to be able to keep him. Milton Williams is going to get a bag, but I would rather keep Milton Williams over Josh Sweat at this point. I think Josh Sweat's pretty average. He just came up huge in the Super Bowl. When are you getting your Howie Roseman tat? Yeah. I'm not getting a Howie Roseman tat, no. Not even if you paid for it. Season is starting. I know the Sixers and Flyers are horrible. Yeah, well, we stay away from the Sixers, although there is something at some point this week I want to cover on the Sixers. Daryl Morey's trash talking, but we're going to stay away from that as much as possible. Yeah, it's basically Eagles offseason and Phillies until the Eagles season starts in September. That's what we got to do on this show every day. We say it every season. How do teams pay for players? I don't know. I don't know. I wish my bosses accepted mediocrity like the Bills owners do. Hurts is greater than Allen. 100%. It's Josh Allen is like the Phillies. Great regular season player. Comes up small in the big moments. Fact. Yes. I don't know which one, but I know we're agreeing. Purdy's a little above average. Josh Allen's contract is not insane. You just think Hurts is better. I just think Hurts wins. And I know you hate Zach. I know, Zach, you comment on every post how much you hate Jalen Hurts. You are a Jalen Hurts hater. And that's fine. I get it. I don't think there's anything else to prove. Jalen Hurts is the reigning, defending, undisputed MVP of the Super Bowl. All right? Josh Allen's the MVP of the regular season. What would you rather? The quarterback that wins the big game or the quarterback that wins the meaningless regular season games? I'll take the winner in the big games. Allen has no weapons. You cannot blame Jalen Hurts for having weapons. Nobody complained that Joe Montana had Jerry Rice. No one complained that Troy Aikman had Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin. The list goes on and on. Nobody complains about them. They're elite quarterbacks. You still got to lead. Yes, I know. You say Phillies win the World Series. Did you hear Slay taking shots at Hurts? Yeah, I've got literally 5 days worth of notes to cover this week from last week, Barb. Missing 3 straight shows was not ideal. Slay definitely was taking shots. You know what's unfortunate is we're probably going to lose Isaiah Rodgers in free agency. So bringing Slay back would have been ideal. But after what he said about him, and then also what he said about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I kind of find it hard to believe that Darius Slay would even remotely be back. He just likes the UFL. That's all there is to it. Hurts has a best O-line in the league. So is that his fault? Is that his fault? I like stars, but they don't exist. Yeah, the stars don't exist anymore, do they? Solid tight end depth in this year's draft. Yeah, but you still need a tight end that can go out there and keep defenses honest. More trades, Metcalf to the Steelers, Devontae Adams to the Rams, Myles. Dude, it was crazy. I think Pittsburgh, after giving DK Metcalf $150 million, is going to realize that DK Metcalf, while a really good wide receiver, ain't $150 million wide receiver. And Pittsburgh doing things backwards, which a lot of teams do, paying a big money wide receiver when they don't have a quarterback. That's what bad franchises do. Allen has had weapons and has had O-line and good. He has. He might not have had great talent this year, but in the past he's had talent. I mean, he did have Diggs for how many years? Crazy. If you replace Jalen Hurts with Josh Allen, Eagles don't make 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years. Truth. If you put Jalen Hurts on the Bills over the last 4 years, they've made or at least made a Super Bowl. The Bills over the last 4 years, guarantee it. Howie does dummy or void years in contracts. Most teams don't do that. They also, Barbara, Howie convinces Jeffrey Lurie to pay a lot of upfront cash in bonuses and stuff like that helps the salary cap, helps stretch the hits out. There's 2 things. Howie's smart with the contracts, and he is an owner willing to spend money. Those 2 things are a recipe for success. He also sets the market before the market is set. Signing guys to big deals that won't be big deals in a year. He reads the room. Eagles are the worst in league dead money. And we still are Super Bowl champions. We made the playoffs in 2021, TMC. You might not know this because you're not an Eagles fan. In 2021, we took the single biggest at the time dead cap hit in the history of the NFL and still made the playoffs in 2021. We had a $60 million dead cap hit by trading Carson Wentz in that offseason. Still made the playoffs. This year. Purdy has been to a Super Bowl and gone deep into playoffs more often than out. I mean, facts. I'm not hate it. Jalen is mad. Jalen is mad. You just think he's better than literally everybody. I don't think he's better than everybody. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. And you cannot blame Jalen Hurts and discredit the work Jalen Hurts does because he's got talented wide receivers. He's got a great executives and organization that builds a great team. Josh Allen would not have 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years on this Eagles team. He does not have the it factor. He does not have the winning mentality. He just doesn't. You're ridiculous. Paul wants to win effing Super Bowls. Paul wants to win? Who's Paul? Darius Snake. I mean, I know you're not a big Darius Slay fan, Rick. And the player was better than people realized this past year. But, yeah, he chirps a lot. And it worked, but soon you have to pay the piper. No, it always works out. 49ers had much better teams than Buffalo, especially on defense. Again, If Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL, he'll elevate the talent around him. He'll lead by example. How many times has TMZ come on here and talked about how bad Josh Allen is, not a leader, not a team player, doesn't put in the extra work? But now it's different. Giants looking hard at Rodgers for cornerback and quarterback. Yeah, exactly. Well put, Duck, there. Well put. It's not Hurts' fault, but you can't say he is more than a manager. He is. Why do you have this as a Jalen Hurts conversation? I heard Wilson was in the Giants' plans, not Rodgers. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, Sam Darnold. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are floating around. The quarterback carousel, Barb, this offseason is going to be crazy in the NFL. It really is. The fact that Minnesota would rather go out and get one of the other guys, Minnesota's going to pay Daniel Jones, rumor has it, instead of keeping Sam Darnold or trying to run it with J.J. McCarthy, who they drafted in the top 10 last year and got hurt. It's crazy. Teams mess around with the quarterback situation so much because they're all looking for the next Jalen Hurts. So Pittsburgh's now have a good wide receiver core and no signed quarterbacks. Not just a good wide receiver core sign, like $150 million to DK Metcalf. That's a lot of money. Can we please stop with the Hurts isn't elite without his weapons? They have been many quarterbacks with weapons and still exactly. Put Jalen Hurts on the Dallas Cowboys. They'd still probably lose because the Cowboys suck, but I bet you Jalen Hurts would have won a Super Bowl with at least 6 different NFL rosters, Big Al. At least 6 different NFL rosters at this point of his career. Slay sounds like he just pissed about being cut. He knew he was getting cut. He even talked about it before the season ended, that he knew the numbers were not in his favor to stay with the Eagles. But there's always that chance that they pull a Fletcher Cox and bring him back like we did with Cox 2 years ago. Now, I don't know if you could do that with the way he's bad-mouthing people. Allen is an underachiever. I will grant you that. But to pay a sports ball player more than a doctor's, well, that's another whole subject right there. Oh, that narrative will never die. It never will, K1. When Jalen Hurts is getting inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame 15 years from now, the conversation will still be Jalen Hurts is not good enough. It's just the way it is. Baun contract actually looks good just 72 hours later with all the signings. Exactly. Haven't been live since the Zack Baun contract signing. And I love that Howie and Jeffrey Lurie and the Eagles were able to reward Zack Baun 3 years, $51 million. What was it? $34 million guaranteed. The money, the spending spree that's going on. It's a fantastic contract. You bring the heartbeat of the defense back for 3 more years. The guy that knows the Fangio system perfectly. It's a smart deal. And I love that they were able to get it done. I think the Eagles Nation would have freaked out if he went elsewhere for that kind of money. So, well done. It's more than I thought that Howie would spend on a linebacker. But Howie's proven us wrong many times. Phil, Joe Burrow is going crazy over the fact that Howie does what he does. He wants Bengals to do that. Yeah, I know. At first, I thought it sounded like Joe Burrow was just being cranky or whatever. But no. The blueprint of what Howie does has been laid out. People have poached his assistant GMs and executives to be their GMs, and they've all failed. The thing is, Howie understands it to a T, but Howie also has the owner willing to spend the money necessary. You got to have both. So even if Joe Burrow's GM, I don't even know who the GM in the Bengals is, understands what Howie does, if the owner of the Bengals won't pay that money up front, then it doesn't work out. I would do everything Eagles did for 1 ring. Yeah, exactly. You would. Name a doctor who could throw a 20-yard out. Yeah. Because you got to be able to throw that out, that back shoulder throw in week 16. Okay, that's important. I bet Burrow wants out of Cincinnati. We got Trey Hendrickson being available in a trade. I would be shocked if that thought, Barb, hasn't at the very least crossed Joe Burrow's mind. Joe Burrow is going to be one of those wasted talents due to the team they are on. Maybe. Josh had Stefan, and he turned him into Steven Urkel. If you don't understand that analogy, yeah, exactly. He didn't turn him into Stefan Urkel. He turned him into Steven Urkel. Did I do that? Yes, he would have. He would have. Josh Allen would have won the Super Bowl. Fact, he probably would have too. Probably stop. No, disagree. Howie will be able to kick the can forever because he works for an owner willing. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been talking about. I must be very far behind on comments, guys. Duck, I agree. I know he's not an Eagle, but he's a heck of a quarterback in my opinion. Paul is the one Peter got robbed for to pay. Okay, we'll concede my argument. Phil triggered me. I triggered you. Yeah, there you go. Howie doing my thing. Don't play D. Just redraft. You got to have young talent. Jones is cheaper option as a bridge quarterback. Oh, we're talking about Daniel Jones, and they really want to play their shiny new quarterback. Yeah, it's just weird, man. It's weird. Remember when you were proclaiming Jalen Hurts was the greatest quarterback ever? Amazing take. Look, I've been saying it since his freshman year at Alabama. People don't understand. People think I'm just jumping on some Jalen Hurts bandwagon or spitting hot takes. I've been a fan of Jalen Hurts since his rookie. I used to watch college. I don't anymore, but I used to watch college football. Been a fan of Jalen Hurts since day one. I love Joe Montana, but his backup won a Super Bowl because the team was so stacked. His backup also is a Hall of Famer in Steve Young. That wins Super Bowls have good rosters. That's the way it works. You can't win a Super Bowl just with an elite quarterback. You have to have an elite roster to win a Super Bowl. The Chiefs didn't win all those Super Bowls just because of Patrick Mahomes. It's crazy. There might be a day when no AJ or Barkley. There might be. And I'm sure AJ, Jalen Hurts, and Howie Roseman, and Nick Sirianni have a plan in place. That Super Bowl was uncompetitive after late in the second quarter when the defense had the 2 interceptions. The rest of the game was stat padding. They dominated, plain and simple. Joey Rice was not bad. Who was his running back? One of the years it was Roger Craig. Rathman was, I forget Rathman's first name, was the fullback. Curious if Howie brings back Javon Hargrave at a reduced rate if they're unable to bring back Milton Williams. It depends on his health situation. Obviously, he was hurt last year, but I could see that. Roger Craig. Yep, Roger Craig. Joe got no running back now. They had a running back, and they got rid of him, and Joe Mixon. And Joe Mixon had a great year with the Texans. Money cures all, Marshawn. Yes, everybody's hating on Myles Garrett for taking the money. Everyone's hating on Myles Garrett for saying he wanted to win, but then taking the money. Dude, when you get that kind of money dumped in your lap, you are not turning it down. He said all that he said. He wanted to stay in Cleveland. Then he said everything he said to play Cleveland into paying him the money. And Cleveland did. And now he's got a bag. And I don't fault him for that. We're talking generational money, multi-generational money. Duke Tobin, the general manager for the Bengals. Cool. I will concede most arguments, but if you have, no, not most quarterbacks. And there aren't many good quarterbacks anyway. Can't win without AJ and Smith, but you people, how has it been proven? I'm curious. How's it been proven? I'm just curious. Everyone stop commenting for 5 minutes. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying. I'm firing through. Winning is more than weapons. It's a mentality. It's an ability that you could do and you can't. Josh Allen would lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl if he was on the Eagles. He chokes against Mahomes. Big Al, winning is a mentality. 1,000%. 1,000%. You got to want to win. Remember, the Chiefs shut Saquon Barkley down. Jalen Hurts did not throw the ball much this year because Saquon ran for over 2,000 yards. He put his own stats and his own personal achievements aside for the betterment of the team. And then come Super Bowl, when it was time, when the Eagles needed him to step up most because the Chiefs took away Saquon Barkley, what'd he do? He went out there and won the MVP of the Super Bowl. Dropping dimes to Devontae Smith in the end zone. Taking apart that elite Steve Spagnuolo playoff big game defense. Winning is a mentality, and Jalen Hurts does it more than everybody else. I see you still have your attempt. It's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. Did Mahomes win 2 Super Bowls with Kelsey and Hill? Because I recall them having a team and getting whooped by the Bucks. Was that year? Okay. I mean, but he has had Kelsey his entire career. Okay, he did have Tyreek Hill for a while. Now he's got Xavier Worthy, who's not. So back to this comment. Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl without Barkley already. Just so you know. I knew Hurts would be great after his second start was against the Cards and the Eagles lost, but Hurts looked good. Yeah, absolutely. Burrow has Higgins and Chase, and exactly. Yeah, Joe Burrow's team's so bad, but they got 2 of the top 20 wide receivers. Jamar Chase may. I don't know. It's a toss-up always, Marshawn, with me, him and Jefferson, who's the best wide receiver in football. He's got either the number 1 or number 2 best wide receiver in football, and a second guy. He's got literally the only wide receiver duo that you could say maybe is better than the Eagles wide receiver duo. But, I mean, he's at least gotten to a Super Bowl, Joe Burrow. Josh Allen has not. 100 out of 100, take the money. Absolutely. But see, the thing is, everybody on Twitter, at least, is absolutely destroying Myles Garrett. Well, I guess he doesn't really want to win. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars here. Nobody turning that down. And honestly, earlier this year, he said he didn't want to be traded. He wanted to stay in Cleveland. Burrow's a fraud. Burrow's played in more Super Bowls than Josh Allen, so I will at least give him that. Just so you know. Garrett got exactly what he wanted. He got paid, and he got to stay home with the team that he's been with for so long. Fanatic thought Garrett was definitely going to the Eagles. I've been saying since day one of this offseason that I didn't want the Eagles to make that major trade because I didn't want the Eagles to give up multiple first-round picks and then give him, I'm looking at, $123 million guaranteed, $40 million a year. No, that's not how you win a Super Bowl. Didn't Brady have a great team and lost to the Giants? What is this guy on about having weapons? Yeah. I mean, Brady had his best weapon with Randy Moss and lost the Super Bowl, right? The years he won the Super Bowl, he didn't have great weapons. Big Al be like, what? I did a quantum theory calculation where Josh Allen was traded to the Eagles. Instead of Hurts, how he got him all the weapons, he still didn't win a Super Bowl. There you go. So the Eagles lost the Super Bowl 2 years ago because of the defense, and now they won because of the defense. It's all good. Enjoy Buffalo, Cincinnati. Exactly. Marshawn, line them up and knock them down. All the haters, okay? Milton Stakes coming to head. I disagree. I guess you didn't see the playoff game. Josh took the lead with 13 seconds left, but McDermott blew it. That was the game. That was the playoff game against the Chiefs where they went back and forth, right? Was that like 2 years ago? I'm just trying to remember if we're talking about the same game there. That was a crazy game. Who cares about winning? Take the money. Yeah. Well, Browns equal dumb move. Garrett equals genius. Yeah. Alex Hunt is greater than Myles Garrett. Dollar for dollar? Maybe they're equal? That's a bold hot take, K1. But what I'm all about, and maybe I'll do a short video and say that. Maybe I will. Mark this down. K1 says, Alex Hunt is greater for Myles Garrett. I'll add in the dollar for dollar part of it. How about that? Mahomes is a choker in Super Bowls. He's thrown 7 interceptions in them. He does have a couple titles, though, around his finger. Line that shit up and knock it down. Plain and simple. Line it up and knock it down. There are plenty of other cheaper options for the Eagles to go get a defensive end, edge rusher. I mean, Trey Hendrickson could be had for a 4th-round pick. Unfortunately, Harold Landry signed already. Von Miller. Lane Johnson out there recruiting him on social media. Bosa's available. Khalil Mack's available. I'm not spending $123 million, $40 million a year on Myles Garrett, plus the multiple first-round picks it would have taken. But it's a team game, though. Coaches included, yeah. Now we're blaming the coaches, right? We're always blaming somebody, but not giving the credit to Jalen Hurts that he rightfully deserves and has earned. I don't know if you guys saw this picture floating around social media last night. Or, yeah, I saw it last night. Maybe it was yesterday afternoon. Jalen Hurts is out there after winning the Super Bowl, and you know what he's doing? He's having dinner with Michael Jordan. The GOAT. The greatest of all time. He's out there having dinner with him. Why? To soak up more knowledge. A few years ago, after the Super Bowl loss, he went and he learned, and he sat down with Tom Brady and Michael Jordan. how to take it to the next level. And that's what he did. Now that he's won that title, now he's sitting down soaking in more knowledge. How can I be even better and not win just one, but 2, 3, 4 titles? That's what winners do. Josh Allen ain't out there taking advice from Tom Brady. Josh Allen's out there worrying about his golf game, playing celebrity golf things. Jalen Hurts out there learning, soaking up knowledge from the greatest of all time. He completely underachieved previous playoffs, and it still wasn't enough. Still wasn't enough. Hear me now. Believe me later. Alex is a superstar in the making. I not disagreeing with you one bit on that, K1. There is so much raw talent there, and he already showed some of it. He did. It was time to take a pause for a sip. I've done literally 30 minutes of nonstop talk, so need a sip of that coffee. It's real simple. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! That's what you got to do. I know Cooper DeJean had an excellent Super Bowl, as did Baun and the entire defense. Absolutely. The Eagles defense played phenomenally in the Super Bowl, Barb. Obviously. They were, I've been as crazy to say that, Barb, that this is the greatest Eagles defense we'd ever seen. Even better than 91. The Eagles still put up 40 points on offense as well. Just so you know. So let's not take anything away from what the offense was capable of doing against what is always regarded as big game Spags. Steve Spagnuolo, their defense coordinator, always has defenses playing huge in big games, and we hung 40 on him. I'm sure there's not many offenses that have hung 40 on Steve Spagnuolo in the playoffs before. Josh Allen had a chance to take the lead on the final drive, and he got stopped on 4th and 1. Does anyone believe that Hurts gets stopped on spot? Nope. Well, there are people that believe that. Not me, but there are people that believe that. People think tush push is easy. Bill's version was called the hiney whiny. If it was so easy, everybody would do it. But nobody else can do it. I love it. The hiney whiny. Yes, it's very funny. I love it. The 2025 Phillies are baseball's version of the 24 Eagles. Maybe. I hope. I did run a poll on Twitter. Will the Phillies win a World Series before the Eagles repeat as Super Bowl champions? I'm not sure. I forget where it went. I know there was like 260 votes on it. Actually, maybe I could find it fairly quickly. Got to notify. I tweet way too much. That's the problem. Finding tweets from 5 days ago, it's a very difficult thing to do. Let's see how this poll worked out that I ran last week. If I can find it. Here it is. Nope, that's the Kai Becton poll. Where's the Phillies poll I did? I've now gone back a full week and I haven't. There it is. 124 votes. What do you see more confidence in happening? Phillies World Series, Eagles repeat. 92-7, or 92.7 to 7.3. Eagles repeat before the Phillies win a World Series. Sorry, Rick. If I could be subjective, Jalen is in the regular season was mostly bad than good, but in the games we needed him. So I would counter, okay, you're being subjective, okay, a little bit, Marshawn. Can I tweak your comment, okay? He was not bad in the regular season. He was good. He was a game manager at times. But in the games we needed him, he did deliver, okay? Jalen Hurts put aside his ego, put aside his stats, put aside his, quarterback legacy, so to speak, for the betterment of the team because you had Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts, when Saquon Barkley was stopped, stepped up. Plain and simple. So it's not that he was bad. He cut down on his turnovers. He did what he had to do. He won games. Made plays when necessary on 3rd and 4th down. But he didn't do it flashy this year. So he wasn't bad. He was good. But he was great when we needed him to in the Super Bowl against Washington. So I'm just going to tweak you a little bit. I don't like you using the word bad there because I don't think he was bad at all. The Eagles, the defense scored a touchdown. Also, the Eagles set the Eagles up at the 12 on another touchdown. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. I just don't want to discount what the Eagles were capable of doing or what they did. Okay, we mostly complain about Jalen in the offense, then not. I agree a great deal of sacrifice from Hurts had to be made. I think that's a great way to say it. Jalen Hurts sacrificed this past year. for the betterment of the team. And that is what makes a quarterback great. That's what makes him a great leader. Hurts doesn't care about the individual stuff. He cares about one thing: winning championships. That's it. That's all that matters to him. That's it. Hurts delivered when he needed to during the regular season to get to the Super Bowl. Barkley was getting it done, so he stepped back. Stepped aside. And this conversation, the Eagles only won because he had Saquon Barkley, or a great offensive line. Well, how many rushing yards did Saquon Barkley have in the Super Bowl? Wasn't it like under 30, or it was either like 26 or 36? I forget what it was. I get the scores 40-22, but the Chiefs are not chopped liver on both sides. Chiefs are a dynasty. Plain and simple. We beat a dynasty. We didn't just beat a team in the Super Bowl. We beat a dynasty in the Super Bowl. We didn't beat the Eli Manning-led Giants in the Super Bowl. We beat a dynasty, and really handedly, too. Plain and simple. We handed them. Did you see that Harper volunteered to play right field? Yeah, I saw it. I saw it, and I knew somebody would ask me at some point, Barb, about this. And then I got sidetracked. Never really formulated my opinion. I don't hate the idea of Harper going back to right field. I don't love it. I don't want his arm I don't know how strong his arm is, how healed it is, or how likely it is to get re-injured again. I don't know if Pete Alonso would have been an answer to fix my concerns about the Phillies offense. We needed a really good hitter, not we need a 300 hitter that gets on base. We don't need another home run hitter. So I don't know about that per se, that move specifically. But I did say it, and I love that Harper wants to win, for sure. It's okay that many are doubting the Phillies. It's not doubt. Well, it's doubt. And I didn't doubt them going into 2024. I had them beating the Texans in the Super Bowl. That was my prediction. It's that we've seen that the Phillies haven't evolved. The Eagles evolve year to year. The Phillies haven't evolved, Rick. They're still the same team, offensively speaking. Washington fans are all pumped up about the Debo trade. Yeah, well, we covered the Debo trade when that happened. Debo ain't that special. Not at all. Six fans are never happy. Well, why? Why are we worried about the Sixers? They can't even lose properly, Mitchie Poo. 57. He had 57 rushing yards. Did it end up being that high? It was like 25. He got shut down. He had 25 carries, 57 yards, something like that. I know it wasn't good. He did not have a good game. What's up, Mitchie Poo? Hope you had a great weekend. I can't wait. Line that shit up and knock it down. That's it. Why on earth did the Sixers win the game last? Well, I mean, they were playing a team even worse than them that were tanking even more than them. Sixers. I didn't watch the Sixers game last night. Didn't even care. Are you concerned at all that halfway through spring training, a lot of the big bats are? I never get concerned personally about spring training stats at all, wins and losses in spring training. As long as they're getting their work in, I never worry about it personally. They suck at tanking. Yeah, they can't win. They can't lose. They can't get their players healthy. They can't sit their players. The Eagles version we have now is today's version of the 70 Steelers. Eagles win 3 of the next 7 Super Bowls. Wow. Bold. A lot's got to go right in this day and age in sports to win 3 titles in that span, Rick. That's just me saying it. But they better win 2. I'll say that. They have the same agent is why he said it. Oh, do they? I did not know that. But, yeah, I get it. You know, Bryce Harper wants to win. The offense needed an addition. I think it also needed a subtraction or two. You needed some kind of tweak to it. I don't know if Alonzo would have been the answer, Barb. But, you know, I remember, like, when he first came back and he played first base at the end of that year, was at 23. And then going into the 24 season last year, we're like, should he move back to right field? And having that conversation and being like, you you preserve him more long-term. You got him for a 13-year contract. Keeping him on first base is probably better for his overall long-term health. But he does want to win. And baseball, you need more. One person can't make the difference in baseball like in other sports. So I don't know. I don't know what they would do there. Phillies need high on-base percentage guys, way too much swing and miss. Agreed. And I don't know if Pete Alonso is or isn't that. Not concerned. Yeah, never should be concerned about spring training. Guys, you're watching Trey in the AM. You know, a lot of people have been watching this morning. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. If you've done both of those things, please hit that share button. Share it out on one of your social media pages. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get as many people in here as possible talking as we're covering the start of free agency, not just the Eagles. We're talking all the things happening around the NFL right now. And mainly what's happening with the Eagles. Who finally signed Becton? I hope the Eagles find a way to sign Mekhi Becton today, tomorrow, whatever. I think he's going to test the market, as will Isaiah Rodgers, see what they're worth. I'm sure Howie's already given them a ballpark of what a contract to stay in Philadelphia would be. And then they're going to see what the market says. And if it's big money, they're going to leave. And if it's close, they stay. Becton would be a huge priority for me, obviously. Yeah, I've been saying it since day one. I want the Eagles to re-sign Mekhi Becton. At all costs. Now, Howie, I expect the next move you hear from Howie isn't Becton or isn't Rodgers or any of those guys. I expect the first move you hear is Cam Jurgens' extension, because that will free up even more cap space that we lost in the Zack Baun deal. Plus, he's due for that extension. On the most recent Hit and Season podcast, they were saying they are starting to get concerned. I really hope Kepler is good. Kepler's okay. He's solid. He's a ball player. I don't think he's going to be a difference maker. I saw somebody, I forget who it was on their podcast, say they think Kepler, somebody that's well known, say that they think Kepler's going to be a top 5 most valuable player on the Phillies roster this year, and I just don't see it. Someone edit Phil to have JD. What? Why? Why? What are we worried about that for? I don't get that. Came back into. I wanted to say that, but then I felt like it happened just years. Just I get lost in the years. But yeah, that's right. You're accurate. I try to track those years in my brain. I wanted to say 22 into 23, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So I said 23 into 24. My bad. He is a restricted free agent. Doesn't matter. There's going to be a market for Isaiah Rodgers that may put him out of price range for the Eagles. You might go into next season with Keely Ringo and a veteran, and my man Anthony DeBona, who I love. Dude's a young rising star in Eagles media and writing. Put out there Ronald Darby's name, and everyone crushed him. But, you're going to see a Ronald Darby type to back up or compete with Keely Ringo going into training camp. That's what you're going to see if Rodgers gets the money that I expect him to get in free agency. Yeah, it's been a few years. He was an all-star a few years ago, but it's been a while. I don't care about what. I don't even mention a politician's name on this show. Just don't do it. I don't know why you would. But I expect the first move the Eagles make is to extend Cam Jurgens today. I actually think that happens today. I expect that to be the top priority because you need to get that contract extension done so you know how much more cap space you free up. Ringo, Mitchell, and DeJean still a great trifecta. Well, Mitchell and DeJean are great. Ringo is still unproven, in my opinion, Rick. His limited moments on the field, he's been good, but not great. I don't know. I get that you're going to probably have those 3 as your starters, but I want a solid veteran backup here that if Ringo isn't it, And if he gets exposed playing every single snap, that you have another option there. I'm not jealous of anything. Not at all. Old man Darby. He is getting old. He is. That's fine. I get it. Phillies ran back the same position players, lots of DH types on it. We talked about this last week, Barb. The Phillies have way too many players that are DHs / first basemen that are here. And you only got one first baseman and one DH spot. But JT needs to play first or DH occasionally. Harper, first base, DH. Schwarber, DH. You can make an argument for, Baun playing first base and occasionally DHing. You can make an argument that Castellanos needs to get off his feet in the outfield occasionally. So it's a weird thing with the Phillies. I am not a wet blanket. Huge Becton fan, but if he leaves, I do have confidence in Steen. The thing is, it's not that I don't have confidence in Steen. He's a good player, or he's got potential to be a really good player. And you got Jeff Stoutland there coaching him. It's the depth issue, Rick. By having 6 starting offensive linemen, when one goes down, Lane Johnson misses time every year. Jordan Mailata missed time this past year. Dickerson has been banged up. Cam Jurgens has been banged up. Having that 6th starter that you could place in at guard or tackle and swing people around regularly is a huge thing. It's like having that 6th starting pitcher in the bullpen or in the minor leagues that you can call up when a pitcher goes down. Having that 6 out, so it kills the depth. It really does. Do you think Bradbury will get picked up by a team or will he retire? I think Bradbury gets picked up by a team. I do. I think he gets one more run in the sunshine. Okay, I do. But that's it. And it's going to be a 1-year cheap deal. Bills steal Eagles Isaiah Rodgers. Maybe you're going to have to overpay him to do it. Something jealous of Philly's getting a lot of doubt for a team that just won 97 games. Did they win 95 games? Maybe it was 97. It's not doubt. 95, 97 wins. Dude, Rick, it's the same argument with the Bills. Okay, and Josh Allen. Winning the regular season is meaningless when you collapse in the playoffs. You got to do it when it matters most, when all the chips are in on the table. The Phillies haven't done that the last 2 years. Becton would be a nice return, but we have Steen, and we can bring in a big OT that can play a bit of guard. Yeah, I mean, I get it. And overpaying not overpaying, but giving Becton a big deal, 3 years, $50 million or whatever it be, might be a bit excessive for this team. But we know the Eagles value that offensive line. So it wouldn't shock me. Phil, is Stubbs still there? Get better backup. Well, there's a battle between Garrett Stubbs and Rafael Marchand. I don't know if I'm saying that right, for the backup catcher spot. The Phillies have always loved Marchand. He's healthy this spring training. I think Marchand is actually the leader in the clubhouse to get that final spot on the bench as the backup catcher. Stubbs has minor league options. They could send him to the minors. You cannot send Marchand to the minors. You'd have to cut him or get rid of him or trade him. So they like Marchand's talent as a backup catcher. You're going to need somebody that's going to play more. They want to get JT Realmuto to catch less innings. You can't give Stubbs much more than he already gets because he's terrible. Let's be honest, Garrett Stubbs. Marchand has potential there. So I expect Marchand to get the backup catcher spot this year instead of Stubbs. But he is in spring training with the Phillies, Garrett Stubbs. I mean, Douglas is an option. He's out there. They're going to bring in a cheap veteran option for sure at cornerback. They had a historic first half last year, but they were bad. They were a 500 team after the trip to London last year. I still say that trip to London ended the Phillies' success. That was the big moment where the story arc and it kind of came down after that. London was Endgame, Avengers Endgame, and then after that, right down. Eagles will certainly draft O-line depth and D-line depth. Absolutely. Every mock I do sees that happen. I do that. Everybody said the Phillies were going to win 120 games last year. They absolutely collapsed. After London, it was night and day. It was after London, and it was after Ranger Suarez's wife came up from Venezuela or wherever they're from. That was the end of the team. That was the end of the run for the Phillies last year. Really. Swift aside. The contract allowed Travis Kelce to play one more season. Love it. Always love a good Swifty joke and Kelsey joke there. We can't pay everyone. We have Stoutland, so we could train up just about anyone as long as they meet the physical and mental requirements. The only thing I will say about Tyler Steen, and I know he was hurt in training camp last year, but so was Mekhi Becton. Steen could not beat out Mekhi Becton, who had never played the position before. Plain and simple. I would send Marshawn to the Niners. Good morning, Eric. The gatekeeper is here. Hope you're well. Hope you had a great weekend. Marshawn should be taking tons of at-bats from JT. He is on the downslope bad. I'm so worried that they will re-sign JT. Yeah, I really hope they don't re-sign JT. I don't think it's necessary. But I also think that they have to re-sign JT because Marshawn ain't it as a starter. So they don't have, because they got rid of O'Hoppe, a few years ago for Marsh, or whoever it was in that trade. It was the summer we got Marsh. I don't remember if it was in the Marsh trade or not. We don't have that next guy ready to step in. So I don't know what you do there. How was everybody's, not just weekend, last 6-7 days? It's been so long. Tuesday was a long time ago last time I did a show. Daniels got no weapons, and he great what? When Harper did that slide in London, it was bad luck. Yes. Maybe that's what it was, Barb. I mean, that slide, I defended that slide for the betterment of baseball. He was trying to add excitement to the London series is to help grow the game internationally. And that slide was to do that. But on the flip side, that might have been one of the moments. I mean, it's baseball and it's free agency for the NFL. I go where the people tell me, K1. I'm caught up on comments. I talk what the people want to talk about. This is not about me. This show has nothing to do with me. All I ask is for the like button to be smashed, the subscribe button to be hit, and you hit that share button once a show. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for. So if you want to talk baseball, we talk baseball. If you want to talk the players, K1, big topic for Fairway to Heaven tomorrow night is the 17th hole at TPC Sawgrass. Overrated or awesome? Overrated in the pantheons of great holes in golf history. Just ask it. So we got that. This is actually one of my favorite golf weeks of the year because the Players' Championship is one of the fun events in the golf schedule every year. Who? Cool. I learned how to launch good. Launch rocket good. I don't know what that is. It's not like there isn't hockey being played. Who cares about hockey? The Flyers. I see a lot of Flyers fans complaining about the NHL trade deadline. I don't even know what they did. DK Metcalf already signed $150 million. That was announced last night. O'Hap was in the Syndergaard trade. I know it was the same offseason. I couldn't remember which deal was which. But that was your guy to replace JT Realmuto. And now you don't have him. So I don't know if you can let Marshawn or JT Realmuto go. Steelers in talks with Rodgers. The Steelers have wide receivers. They just don't have a quarterback. Steelers are doing a lot of teams around the NFL. When you see all these deals that have been done already, Devontae Adams. Yeah, you cut Cooper Kupp to bring in Devontae Adams. They go, these teams do things backwards. The Eagles build their offense and defensive line, and they build up. That's why they're a successful franchise. Other teams go out and pay all these money to wide receivers and don't even have a single quarterback on the roster. Actually, maybe they have like a four-stringer on their roster. Moniak. I was a huge Mickey. I won't lie, Barb. I was a huge Mickey Moniak stan. I thought that kid would eventually figure it out. It's a shame he didn't. I think he had a good run late in the year last year with the Angels, but I don't know if good enough to be a starter or not. Marshawn hit 300 with 3 homers and 50 at-bats. 50 at-bats is a very small sample size. All right? Very small sample size in the baseball world, okay? That would be like saying after one game that a quarterback's elite. Giving out a $300 million extension to a quarterback after one game. That would be Marshawn hit 350 at-bats is like when, what's his name? The backup in Green Bay that ended up getting a huge contract as a quarterback that offseason because of the Week 17 game. Was that Chase Daniels? Am I thinking of Chase Daniels? Marshawn in your is Chase Daniels. Good for you. Where your opinions? No, I said your comment. I said I disagree with your opinion. I made a statement about your opinion and moved on. Nobody else wanted to comment on it. If other people commented, I'd follow through. Glad that Garrett is off the table and is not in our division. Yes, I agree. I think that's also a big deal. So the Myles Garrett contract does a few things. Keeps him in the AFC. Part one. Keeps him out of the NFC East. Also, $123 million guaranteed, $40 million per year. Full no trade clause. That screws the Dallas Cowboys even more. Because now Micah Parsons is going to want his contract to be more than Myles Garrett. And this is what makes Howie Roseman so great. Sign his guys before the market gets too big and out of control. The Cowboys wait too long and then have to overpay Dak Prescott, overpay CeeDee Lamb. Now have to overpay Micah Parsons to retain him. Howie reads the room and gets it done early. Now the Cowboys. So that's another thing there. Kept Garrett out of our division, but also may have screwed the Cowboys on the Micah Parsons deal. All the Steelers quarterbacks have been game managers. Their defense wins for them. Not even that much. We're still sitting at 452 subscribers. We start the show at 452. We're still at 452, 56 minutes later. That's disappointing. That means not one of you went out and found me a subscriber doing this show. So what am I doing this for then? I said just give him more time and see what he can do. I know you didn't say elite, but I'm not. But you had asked about, you had said something about re-signing or not re-signing JT Realmuto. You gotta have a plan in place to let JT Realmuto go. Matt Flynn was the one I'm thinking of. Then he started a game like the last week of the year, put up a big game in a meaningless game. And I think it was Seattle gave Matt Flynn a huge contract. It was insane. That's like the Marshawn situation, in my opinion. What is Spooky Dookie? That is Peanut's book, linked below. His son wrote a book. Jalen Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback for Team USA in the 28 Olympics, but only if Josh Allen is on the team, just because you guys be hating. Football going to be in the Olympics in 2028? Are they still talking about that? That would be pretty cool. And Jalen Hurts better be the captain of Team USA. If you want to win a gold medal, you put Jalen Hurts in that spot. If you want to win the bronze medal, you put Josh Allen in there. It's like everyone is making the Lions walk the plank to the sandworm pit. What? I love that Mike is going to cost even more. Thanks, Jerry. Exactly. Like, I don't think enough people realize that aspect, not just of the Myles Garrett and the Max Crosby deals have just, Jerry Jones has got to be sitting there like, damn it, I screwed up again. Oh, well, I'm Jerry Jones. It's all good. I'll figure it out. Like, Micah Parsons is going to have to get, if he got 123 guaranteed, Garrett, you got to be talking about 140 guaranteed. $40 million a year? You got to be talking about $45 million a year for Micah Parsons now. Good luck with that, Dallas. Good luck with that. There's a link in the description there. Are you just reading all the things that I got links to in my thing? I appreciate it. Wait till Phil realizes none of us is real, and this is just I mean, it could be true. It could be true. It could be true. All right, mister. I'm going to hold you to that. All right, there's 21 people watching on YouTube right now. That means there should be 21 likes on this video. That means that there should be more than 452 subscribers on this show. The grind here has come. We rushed from like 380 to like 450 like that. And we've hit a snail's pace. Snail's pace. All the teams are doing their best Daryl Morey impersonations, re-signing their players for $300 million contracts. I do got to talk about Daryl Morey at some point this week. Talking about how Sixers fans are just angry all the time. Well, no shit, we're angry. You've ruined our great storied franchise, and you failed. It was against the Lions, then Seattle gave him the money, but Wilson started over him. Weird situation. That was a while ago. It was just one of those things. You know, people always overpay. Always overpay. I would 100% let JT walk. I will gladly take my chances there. He's going to age terribly. I agree he's going to age terribly. I think we agree on the JT situation. The only thing where we disagree with is I don't know if I'm willing to just – I guess it really doesn't matter, Anthony, because two things are going to happen. Either the Phillies are going to win the World Series, like Rick thinks, and it'll all be great and it doesn't matter what happens, or they're going to fall short again and there's going to be drastic changes. One of being JT Real Muto goes. So, I don't even think that whether he stays or goes is up to him. It's what do the Phillies do? Sandworm Pit is a Star Wars reference. Oh, sorry. Not a Star Wars guy, so probably be extended by a year or two. The young up-and-coming I didn't know we had a young up-and-comer, Big Al, but got you on that, okay? Yeah, I bazoo knew that. Look, I'm not a Star Wars guy. Not a Star Wars guy at all. I haven't watched one of the series that have come out. The last one I probably watched was the first one with the girl. Was that The Rise of Skywalker? No. I don't even know which one that was. It's probably the last Star Wars thing I've watched. And that I only watched on free TV. I just don't do Star Wars. I respect and will slightly enjoy the original 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3 were terrible. The new stuff is very to me. Schwarber contract runs out after this year too. Absolutely. Is this crazy? Now, this is just me. Am I crazy to say, and I'm not a Schwarber leadoff hitter fan. I'm not confident that Rob Thompson will stick to Turner in the leadoff spot this year. But I would be more okay with a 2-year extension to Kyle Schwarber than JT Real Muto. Even though we just talked about having too many DHs and first basemen, I think Kyle Schwarber's value on this team is higher than JT Real Muto. If you watch the series, you're not a Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars guy. I'm not. I love Star Wars so much. My parents took me to see Empire Strikes Back in theaters when I was a kid, and I was hooked for life. Cool. I didn't see them in the theaters when I was a kid. I think we all become fans of what our parents are. My dad was more into Westerns and stuff like that. And my love of James Bond comes from watching James Bond movies with my dad as a kid. So, it's kind of similar. James Bond is my Star Wars, I guess, to an extent. If you squint your eyes just enough, you can see Daryl Morey doing a good job. No, still can't say it. I could go get my glasses out of the car and squint my eyes, and I still wouldn't be able. Going to want more than 2 years. Oh, I agree. I'm not saying he will be the guy they resign. I'm just saying I'd be more comfortable with keeping Schwarber over JT. But they're not the best movies. It's all subjective. Yes, James Bond is also great. I'm not going to say that out loud. I'm taking that off the screen, not saying that out loud. But you definitely had a pretty great childhood upbringing then, K1. And it explains a lot about you, K1, for sure. Trying to steer this show off the rails with a comment like that at the top of the hour here. But that's you, K1. You like to steer the show in weird, crazy directions. It is what it is. Good choice. Yeah. I don't know if it's a good choice or not. I've never watched any. Hey, I'm not knocking it. I'm just not going to try it. That's all I'm going to say. Let's get back to football. Let's get back to Eagles. Let's get back to baseball. You need a good romantic comedy movie. That's when it's time to chill on the couch with the wife. But honestly, the wife don't even ask me to watch that kind of stuff. What's great is she likes the stuff I like Jack Reacher. We watched episode 5 of Jack Reacher last night. She likes, CIA, spy, drama shit just like me. Rhino's gore versus Goldberg's spear. Who did it better? There is, without a shadow of a doubt, no one in the history of wrestling that has done a better gore or spear than Rhino. Nobody comes close to Rhino's gore. Gore. Nobody. That was an easy answer. Nah. She don't make me watch that stuff. She's not even huge into it. There's a few Netflix shows that she likes. Chick flick shows on Netflix. Virgin River. What's the other one she likes a lot of? I forget. The serial killer guy. It? Is that not It? That's the clown movie. Where the guy falls in love and kills the girls. I forget. Johnny C. Broke my heart. What? Anyway, back to football. Back to baseball. Let's stay on target. I will say, I did put a poll out, a tweet out last night on TV shows. Is Jack Reacher on Amazon Prime one of the 5 best streaming site TV shows of all time? Reacher, Jack Ryan, I would say House of Cards, but the controversy with Kevin Spacey kind of kills that one there. You know, Stranger Things, Cobra Kai. Is Reacher top 5? If not, it's damn close. No, she doesn't. I don't even think I've ever seen her watch Hallmark. She is not into Bravo at all. My sister loves like the Below Deck series and stuff like that. She has no interest in that stuff whatsoever. Never does. There's a few, like I said, Virgin River is one I know she watches a lot. I forget what the other one is, where the guy, it's not called It, but there's 2 or 3 shows on Netflix that she watches, but she doesn't even remotely even ask me to sit down and watch those. She was a big Grey's Anatomy fan back in the day, too. Yeah, I can't wait. They're doing a Jack Ryan movie and going to kind of continue the universe a little bit, and I love that. Jack Reacher's great. Severance is best. Isn't Severance isn't streaming though, is it? Isn't Severance like a Showtime show? My dad whipped my ass with a belt at least once a month. My childhood was awesome. We never got hit with the belt, mister. We got hit with the yardstick. My dad would buy a box of yardsticks from the Home Depot. Well, whatever the Home Depot was in Clifton Heights back in the day. Top 5 possibly, but all the streaming options make it. It's a very tough call, and I know I'm missing a lot of great streaming shows. I am. But my opinion, at least in recent memory, Reacher's up there for sure. Trying to think about what else like House of Cards was an old school streaming service show when the first Netflix did. Can't count that anymore because of Kevin Spacey. And the final season of it without Kevin Spacey was awful. Severance is Apple. Gotcha. I don't have Apple. I thought it was on Showtime because I don't have Showtime. But yeah, okay, that's why I can't have every streaming service. Oh my God. Stop. The Travis Kelce show on Bravo years ago. Was that he had a dating show, didn't he? Yeah, no, I didn't watch that. She's not into dating shows or The Bachelorette or anything like that. I find my opinion on The Office very controversial. The Office is one of the most quotable shows of all time, and I use it all the time in quotes, but I also think The Office is one of the most overrated comedies of all time. It really is, in my opinion. I find it overrated, but still so quotable. Okay, great. Still a controversy. Streaming show rankings sounds like a show. Yeah, like I would have to do I just kind of tweeted it out while I was watching last night's episode of Reacher, but I didn't do any research. I'd have to go through the top 5 Netflix shows, top 5 Prime, I haven't watched any of the Apple shows, so that's obvious. My wife loves it. Wife loves it. She has never made me watch a single episode of it. Mindhunter was a fantastic show. It's a shame that they canceled it after 2 seasons. It had to do financially, I think. They canceled it because of money. Pretty sure. One of the actors wanted a big pay raise, and they couldn't justify it, and then they just canceled it. Office is a great cast, great quotes, but the show, I think this is a perfect quote. It's tiresome. It really is. It's very tiresome. Occasionally I'll pop it on and watch an episode and laugh, but man, I just don't get it. Yeah. My wife, maybe, we got 3 TVs, one in the bedroom, one in the basement here, and one in the living room. She'll watch one of her shows and I'll come down here and stream something. Whatever. Cheers and Night Court, along with Golden Girls, are still always great rewatches. Cheers, absolutely. Night Court, underrated. Golden Girls, so many fond memories of watching that with my grandma on weekends in Upper Darby. She used to always make me watch reruns of that. She used to make me watch Golden Girls and Amen on Saturday nights with her. If you know what Amen is, you're special. I think the show you were talking about is You. Is that the serial killer show? The guy? Yeah, it might be called You. I know it's like a short name. There are two of the shows you watch a lot of. Watching Invincible, the cartoon, and House of David. I put a TV in the den so my wife can have the living room. She'd rather watch what I watch so that she gets to spend time with me. Seinfeld will always be the number one comedy, in my opinion. I agree. 100%. And that there's no doubt there. The Office is like Will Ferrell. Either you get it or you don't. I get it. I also think Will Ferrell, while he has 3 or 4 phenomenal comedies, he's overrated, in my opinion. I stand on my thing that Will Ferrell is one of the most overrated actor comedians of all time. Great. But after I got older, I noticed it is about the sex life of grandma. It's true. This is a screenshot, okay? This has got to be a screenshot. Got to screenshot that comment, Big Al. Got to. That is a worthy tweet for later on today. Screenshot it. I go down and watch with her and spend time with her. I don't watch any of that stuff. King of Queens was another great show. Kevin James is hilarious as well as Jerry Stiller. So underappreciated with what he did. You're our dry humor guy. I'm a dry humor guy. Okay. All right. If that's what you think, if that's what you say, all right, whatever. So what's going to happen next in free agent? Let's get back on point here. Get back on point. Myles Garrett's done. Max Crosby is done. Okay. DK Metcalf's been traded. What's Devontae Adams is done. Not just what's the next Eagles move to happen. What's the next big NFL news that breaks? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it a quarterback situation? Is there a big trade coming in the NFL today? I don't know. I want to know what the next big move is going to be. Golden Girls is on Hallmark late nights now. Yeah. Back in the day when I was watching at my grandma's house, she didn't have no Hallmark. Hallmark probably didn't exist. My grandma refused to get cable. I loved spending time at my grandma's house in Upper Darby growing up. But I hated it because she had no cable. She had 3, 6, 10, and whatever Channel 17 was called back then. And Fox. I think Fox existed back then. That's it. Adam Sandler is the most overrated comedian actor of all time. Will Ferrell is the second most overrated. Someone asked who was Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey. That was a question on Twitter last night. Overrated Adam Sandler? I'll say this. Adam Sandler on Saturday Night Live was better than Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live. Adam Sandler's got some bangers of movies. You know, Billy Madison, the original Happy Gilmore, you know, stuff like that, I mean, stands the test of time. I love Sandler and will rewatch it all, even though he's overrated. Interesting. I was watching Roots when LeVar Burton was getting whipped, said Toby. Okay. I don't think I've ever watched Roots straight through. That's right. There should be a lot of likes on this video, and there probably isn't. Roger and Wilson will be with their teams this season by the end of the week. Not by the end of the day, by the end of the week. Okay. I think something else big will happen today. Hell, it may have already happened while we're doing this show. So I think I should refresh Twitter. I think I should go right to Adam Schefter's page and see if he's had any breaking news while this show is going on. 6 minutes ago, tweeted while the Steelers, and just wait to see Justin Fields cover. He's having a coffee, so he's sharing coffee. DJ Jones and the Broncos, 3-year, $39 million extension. New England Patriots have traded defensive tackle. I'm not going to try to say his name, to the Saints for a 7th-round pick. That is all that is broken while the show's been going on. Blanche could get it. Probably a quarterback move or two coming pretty soon, I think. I think that is the thing. Jim Carrey is amazing. He is. Sandler made some real bad movies. Sandler's made some really bad movies. That's the problem. New Ace Ventura. What? For sure. I still can't get over Big Al's comment. That's the thing that's really kicking me right now. Big Al's comment on the Golden Girls. But anyway, big moves coming. They are happening. I watched Roots when it first broadcast. I tried watching the remake of Roots from I didn't even know they did a remake of it. Spring Forward should be done on Monday at 4 p.m. so we get out of work an hour earlier instead of Saturday Night Live or Saturday night. Just a thought. I think daylight savings should stay year-round, by the way. I love the extra hour of daylight. Love it. Love it. It kills the pizza shop the first week or two. It kills everyone's dinner habits and screws up business. But thanks for coming out, Barb. Appreciate you. It's been a while. Always love having Barbara in the chat. She always corrects me, which I love because I hate being wrong. And she loves to bring the other conversations, bringing the Phillies into the topics today. We are getting close to opening day. What is today, the 10th? A couple of weeks away from opening day. So I love bringing the Phillies into the conversation. I like the new Shogun more than the original. Okay. Phil can't pronounce good show. God show? No, I can't pronounce it. How do you pronounce it? Phonetically spell it for me. God show? It's a Louisiana name because he's from Louisiana. I can't do it. I don't got that Louisiana accent. I can't do it. Watched 51st Dates again last night. It is rom-com memento. Never liked that. Alf, Mr. Belvedere, and Who's the Boss were staples for me. You know, who was it? Was it Chet from Philly Press Box Radio? I think it was. Sent me a picture of Alf the other day as a joke. And I'm like, great, and all. But I bet you if I walked around my pizza shop and asked every employee who it was, no one would know. I walked around and asked 4 high school kids. Not one of them knew who Alf was or ever heard of Alf. Watched them all. I was a big TGIF guy growing up as a kid. Urkel, Family Matters, Step by Step. Come on. Who didn't like Step by Step? Big into that stuff. Absolutely. Who's the Boss was pretty cool. Mel Mack. What? Anyway, guys, we got to start the wrap-up process. We're about 10 minutes away from the end of the show. Big things happen around the NFL this week. Today is legal tampering period. So all the moves that have happened have been, guys cut so they were able to sign and trade and re-sign their own players. Today's the day the free agents can start signing. And there are quite a few free agents out there. So today's the day that the big moves really start to happen. And we're going to see what happens, and we'll dive into it. Unfortunately, even though I just came back today, there'll be no show tomorrow. Amazon order tomorrow. But I'll have Fairway to Heaven tomorrow night at 6. And we'll be back Wednesday morning covering every move over the next 48 hours. Was that it's been a long time since I watched Alf. I am not good. I don't have deep, Alf knowledge around the forefront of my head. Alf was from that planet. Again, it's probably been 30 years since I've seen an episode of Alf. I don't get Jim Carrey's sense of humor. I'm a Will Ferrell fan. He's got an Oscar for Step Brothers. You know what? Yeah, I love to say Step Brothers is overrated, and I quote Step Brothers all the time. But can I make a confession? I've never watched Step Brothers before. Never seen it. Never once. Not even edited on regular TV. Yeah, sorry. Amazon. Gotta pay the bills. Amazon pays the bills, okay? That Amazon order once a month pays the bill. Sorry. Can't turn down 175 pizzas. I just can't do it. I will be at the shop at 6:30 tomorrow morning because everything doesn't have to be about you, Mr. Memphis Showboats fan. Moved on from Josh Allen already to Memphis Showboats. Everything's not about you. Hate to break it to you. A lot of people love Fairway to Heaven. A lot of people bazzoot and hoot Fairway to Heaven. And the Players' Championship is my favorite golf tournament that's not a major every year. So I can't wait for it till tomorrow night. Look at how much room we have. Yeah. Will Ferrell should have won an Oscar for Stranger Than Fiction. Never seen that. But I've never seen Step Brothers. It's a confession. I use, GIFs and memes of it all the time. I quote it all the time. Never seen it. Who doesn't love a good Balky? Perfect Strangers was great. Back when intros to sitcoms were phenomenal. With the great music, intro music, and the freeze frames on people posing for the camera. Love 80s and early 90s intro music. Perfect Strangers was great. Cousin Larry was great. I was just watching Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, and the character from the guy from Perfect Strangers played it, Serge. You want me to get you a little frappuccino? Oh, no big deal. I loved him. Loved him. I love when actors go outside their normal roles and push themselves. I always say that about Robin Williams. When Robin Williams played a serial killer in that Al Pacino movie, Insomnia. Love it. Love it. St. Dennis Medical is a great new show, is it? Okay. Investors possibly, Phil. What? Who's investing? Somebody can invest in me. That'd be great. Ferrell, T-Bags and Step Brothers drum set. Funniest scene in cinematic history. I don't know about that. Insomnia was a great movie, honestly. It really was. People never talk about it. When people talk Al Pacino, they never mention Insomnia. When they talk Robin Williams, they never talk Insomnia. Phenomenal movie. It really is. Third Rock, I never really got into Third Rock. I watched some of it. It was good, but yeah. A huge Beverly Hills Cop. The original Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, classic. I watched the unedited version of that and Major League this weekend. I haven't seen the unedited versions of them in a while. Surge sounds like a detergent. Yeah. What the hell just happened there? Oh, there we go. Phil, did you ever see 1 Hour Photo? Robin Williams. I did not see that one, but I love that stuff. It's too close, especially for a comedy show. Hillary Swank, she was in Insomnia too, wasn't she? I forgot that. I don't know whatever happened to her. Taxi, a little before my time. Insomnia is Nolan's. Insomnia was a Nolan movie? I didn't even know that. No wonder I like it so much. She had a TV show. Good for her. Taxi was amazing. Like I said, I'm 44. Taxi was a little before my time. Anyway, time to start the wrap-up process here, guys. We're going to be talking NFL free agency. Wednesday, we will be getting back to a regular schedule every day. Glad to be back. It's unfortunate that we haven't gotten any new subscribers today, but, it's part of the game. It's part of the thing. All I can ask is you hit that like button, hit that share button after hitting subscribe. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. We got lots happening. NFL season, offseason is in full steam ahead starting this week. And after the next week, then we'll get really into the draft stuff. Because after everybody starts signing, then we can really dive into the draft. Then we can really figure out who's going to get drafted. And, of course, lots of Phillies talk coming up. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to my wife. She's a trooper for getting through this past week in her surgery. Thank you. The amount of love I've gotten, private messages from this show and supporters of this show and from the pizza shop supporters and all, just the amount of love that I've gotten and Melissa have gotten is overwhelming. Hopefully we get great news later this week from her surgery. Still a little nervous with that. She has her appointment with the surgeon on Thursday to follow up and see how everything went. So that'll be a stressful day, but we'll go from there. But thank you all very much for the love and support there with that. That's right. Smash that like button. That's right. Appreciate each and every one of you. Watching Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. It's a great movie. Phenomenal movie. Christopher Lloyd was great in Taxi. He was. He really was. Thank you very much. We need him. Any positive vibes, always. It's been a rough one. And unfortunately, with the staff at the pizza shop being so light, she was supposed to take 3-4 days off. She was back in there for a few hours at a time. Literally, the next day. But she shouldn't have been. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, well, she had, if you didn't know, she had breast surgery. Had a major biopsy done on Wednesday. So we're still waiting on the results from that. So it's the wait and see moment or stage right now. But she's very proactive, so we're very hopeful that everything was caught and she's good to go. Absolutely. She's the reason why this show happens. She lets me do this. So, shout out to her. So anyway, guys, we got to start the wrap-up process. This is Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. Back to an almost regular schedule, but we will have Fairway to Heaven tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Players Championship. Press Box Radio has Glenn Macnow on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And on Wednesday, we'll be back to a regular schedule. I will reschedule El Parcero maybe later this week. Got to find some good Phillies. Maybe I'll hit up Renee Washington for some Phillies talk this week. Maybe. We'll see who I get on next. But, guys, thank you for tuning in. Please smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button and share it out. Go tell a friend. Go tell one. Go tell all. This is the morning show. This is the number one morning show in Philadelphia. Allen is overpaid. Purdy is underpaid. Go Birds. I like that. That's a good way to end it. Jalen Hurts is greater than Josh Allen. Pound for pound, a better quarterback and leader than Josh Allen. Anyway, guys, everybody have a great Monday. The weather warm-up starts. We might see 60s this week, guys. We might see 70s this week, guys. I love it. My favorite time of year. It's springtime, guys. So anyway, everybody have a great day. I'm Phil Stiefel. This is Trey in the AM. Go Birds. Thumbs up.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep.